Alright, so I chose the strawberry pattern and the pink tie-dye, but the possibilities are endless. This tie-dye actually works pretty well. I was surprised. You don't need soda ash. I didn't even soak the onesie, I just went straight in. You'll see that soon. I've never done one of these embroidery kits before, so I was totally lost when I first started, and I ended up kind of a little bit of trial and error. I think I did pretty good for my first time, and honestly, I want to do a bunch more. It was actually a lot of fun. Now this onesie is actually 100% cotton. I didn't know that. I was worried that the onesie would be polyester or some sort of material that wouldn't dye, but it took the dye really well. Right away, I don't want a super vibrant pink, so what I'm going to do is dump out half the contents. Alright, so I grabbed a Pyrex dish for this, and what I'm going to do for my tie-dye is the crumple method. It does come with rubber bands, so if you want to do the swirl or something else, you're free to do whichever way you want. Alright, so this is the dye all mixed. Remember, I personally, for the effect I wanted, I only used half of the powder that was in the bottle. Every tie-dye kit I've ever used, the dye usually is a lot darker when you're initially putting it on the fabric, but once you wash it, it lightens up quite a bit. So in this case, that's exactly what happened here. It's like a really bright fuchsia here, but it ends up being a nice pastel pink in the end. Alright, this is after sitting for 8 hours. So far, I'm really happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and wash it. So this is what I mean by the dye never being as vibrant as it is, you know, when it's first applied. This is exactly the color I wanted, so I couldn't be happier. Alright, so I was pretty confused at first with these instructions. It gets into detail, but for me as someone who's never done this before, I had no idea what I was doing. So basically, I just eyeball a spot where I want it, and I wanted it to be kind of on the left side where onesies and t-shirts typically have the little logos or designs. So I eyeball where I want it, and I put the design behind the fabric. And at first I thought that might be a lot harder than I was willing to deal with, but it ends up being really easy because you can reference the back as many times as you need, and you'll see the lines there. Another thing that threw me off is the string. You're going to want to untangle all the string colors and lay them next to each other, but you're not going to use it like that. So each string is made up of about 6 strings. like very thin pieces of thread, and you want to unwind them. And the easiest way I found to unwind them is cutting them into small pieces and picking them apart. And out of the 6 threads that would be in that string, I would grab 2 out, if that makes sense, and I would thread it in the needle. So I actually started at one point before I figured this out and realized that it wasn't working, and looked back at the directions and realized that I missed that. So another thing is I was so focused on getting the embroidery right that I would keep dragging the onesie out of frame so that I could work on it, and then I didn't even realize after a chunk of time had passed that I did most of it off camera, so you're just going to see a lot of jumps from here on out. I definitely made a ton of mistakes doing this, and I know for the next time what I don't plan on doing to the best of my ability. You know, you can only get better at stuff like this, so there's definitely a lot of mistakes with it, but even with that, I'm really happy, and I definitely want to learn more about this kind of craft and what else I can do with it. I've been seeing a lot of trends where people repair their jeans and jackets with these kinds of crafts, and I'm all for it, so. Also, I wanted to add a couple dots. I added 3 in the final product. I almost did like a little cross that was shown on the kit, and I decided not to do that. But also, while I'm doing this, I mentioned it before, but I flip it over a lot, and I kind of trace the lines that I see on the back. And that saved me with the stencil, making it look more so like in the image. Alright, so here is, I'm almost done. I'm so close. I had to fix up those green pieces, and here you see they look a lot better. Oh my goodness, I will say, because I sat on the floor when I did this, my back was killing me. But yeah, I'm so proud of it. I really, really love the way this turned out. Yeah, so that's the back. It looks crazy. I think someone who's more experienced with this kind of craft would probably have a better, I guess, like, looking back to the kit, but I have a game plan for next time. I think I'll do a lot better, and that's just how those kinds of things goes. The directions also recommended that you seal the back with hot glue, and obviously since this is something that's going to be worn, it's just not going to happen. Hot glue. I guess maybe if it was something that was going on the wall or as a decoration, it would be more ideal, but in this case, I just used a lot of knots. I did end up rinsing this and letting it dry again because the ring from the embroidery kit was pretty strong there, so. Alright, so I was so excited about this and the way that it turned out that I almost forgot to trim the stencil material. So this is me doing that now, trying to record with one hand because I'm a rookie. But yeah, a little pair of scissors made it a little bit easier. Just trim that and you're done. And now your onesie is ready to be gifted or worn or whichever you choose to do with it. Thank you for watching. I really, really love this one, and I'm definitely making a lot more of these.